For a long time, the Echo Dot was the budget option if you wanted to try out Alexa and get into smart speakers without spending much. But in 2023, Amazon launched the Echo Pop. It's smaller, it's cheaper, and it basically took over as the new entry point into the Echo lineup. Now, we've had ours for just over a year now, so I figured it was time for a long-term review. I'll go over what it does well, where it's maybe not so great, and whether it's worth picking one up in 2025. So let's take a look. The Echo Pop comes in the usual charcoal and glacier white colours, same as the Dot, but you also get a couple of extra colours, midnight teal and lavender bloom. They're a bit more playful, but still subtle enough to blend in with most home decor. Just a quick heads up though, unlike the Echo Dot, there's no deep sea blue option for the Pop. And while the Dot has kids editions here in the UK, there's no Echo Pop kids versions available here at all, at least not right now. If you're in the US, you can get themed versions like Marvel Avengers or Disney Princesses. The Echo Pop is a bit like the Echo Dot, but more compact and easier to tuck into a corner. It's got this semicircular design that gives it a clean, modern look, and it's actually the smallest and lightest Echo speaker in the lineup. That said, it doesn't save a huge amount of shelf space compared to the Dot. The footprint's pretty similar. The main difference is the back, which actually makes it better suited for sitting up against a wall or in a corner, where the Dot's round shape feels more like it should sit out in the open. Round the back, you've got a smooth matte plastic finish, and the front's covered in a fabric mesh that fires sound directly forward. Up top, you've got the usual volume and mic mute buttons, and instead of the Dot's light ring at the base, the Pop has a thin LED bar along the front, which glows when Alexa's listening and fills partially to show the volume level. It's smaller than the Dot's light ring, but still clear and easy to see. And overall, the design is clean, subtle, and just fits in pretty much anywhere without standing out too much. One thing I do wish Amazon would sort out though is the power cable. They're all this off-white colour, no matter which colour Echo Pop you get. It looks fine with our glacier white one, but it really stands out on the darker colours like midnight teal or charcoal. Just a small detail, but it would be nice if the cables actually match the device. Okay, let's talk sound. The Echo Pop might be small, but it actually sounds better than you'd expect. It's got a 1.95 inch front firing speaker driver, which fun fact is actually slightly bigger than the Dot's 1.73 inch driver. Vocals are clear, volume is decent, and there's even a bit of bass in there. Not thumping bass, but enough to make background music or podcasts sound rich and balanced enough. That said, the Echo Dot still has the edge overall when it comes to sound quality. Its orb-like design helps deliver more immersive 360 audio, whereas the Pop is directional. It sounds best when aimed towards you, like on a shelf or in a corner. Still, I think the Pop will surprise a lot of people with just how good it sounds for its size and price. You can show me how to come alive. I feel shivers down my spine. I've been waiting for a long time. So I need to make you mine. Only you can show me how to come alive. I feel shivers down my spine. I've been waiting for a long time. So I need. And if you really want to step things up, you can actually pair two Echo Pops together in stereo mode, which makes a noticeable difference, especially for music. If you find them on offer, buying two could give you a really solid stereo setup on a budget. In terms of voice pickup, the Pop holds its own pretty well. It has 3 mics, one less than a Dot, but I haven't found that to be a problem in day-to-day use. We've had our Pop in the lounge for over a year, and it hears commands clearly, even with background noise or the TV on. The only thing I have noticed is that our Echo Dot in the kitchen sometimes picks up commands from the lounge, like a nosy neighbour, which suggests that the Dot's mic setup is just a touch more sensitive at longer distances. But really, unless you're whispering from another room, the Pop does a solid job. Here's a cool bonus not everybody knows about. The Echo Pop can actually work as a Wi-Fi extender if you've already got an Amazon Eero mesh network set up. It's not as powerful as a dedicated Eero mesh node, but it can still extend coverage by up to 1,000 square feet with around 100 megabit speeds. For filling in Wi-Fi dead zones, especially in upstairs rooms, it's a handy little perk. There are a few things you might expect the Pop to have, but it doesn't. There's no audio jack, so you can't plug into a bigger speaker, but to be fair, most Echo devices have dropped this now too. Also, Bluetooth is still available. There's no action button, which is not a deal breaker for me, but if you like pressing a button on your speaker instead of yelling Alexa to turn off an alarm, you'll miss it here. There's also no temperature sensor or accelerometer, which means no tap gestures either. If you're hoping to trigger smart routines based on room temperature or snooze an alarm with a tap, you'll want to stick with a dot. The Echo Pop normally retails for £44.99 here in the UK, and that works out about 60 US dollars, which to be honest feels a bit steep for what it is. But the good news is it's often on sale. I picked mine up last year for £19.99, and at the time of recording, it's currently on offer for £29.99, which works out about 40 US dollars. And at that price, it's actually really good value, easily one of the most affordable ways to get Alexa into your home. So is the Echo Pop worth buying in 2025? If you're after an affordable smart speaker for casual listening, like background music, bedtime stories, podcasts, or controlling smart devices, then absolutely it is. It's compact, sounds surprisingly good, and even helps with Wi-Fi coverage if you're in the Eero ecosystem. Sure, it's missing some of the extras you get with the dot, like the temperature sensor, tap gestures, and slightly better audio, but it also comes in fun colors, costs less, and honestly gets the job done. If any of those missing features are a deal breaker for you, then it might be worth waiting for a deal on the dot instead. But otherwise, if you spot the Pop on sale, it's a solid buy, whether it's your first Alexa speaker or just another one to pop into a different room. If you're interested in picking up an Echo Pop or an Echo Dot, I'll leave links down in the description so you can check them out. Thanks for watching. If you liked today's video or found it useful, consider hitting that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, cheers.